Kevin Conroy, who is in my opinion at least, definitive voice of Batman. He has been doing the voice of Batman since 1992, I think. 92, when Batman the Animated Series premiered. He's been Batman in all the Justice League cartoons, and of course, more recently, the Arkham games. And he was asked at a recent Wizard World Comic-Con, right here in Nashville, actually. He was asked if Warner Brothers plans on doing any more Arkham games. Specifically, I think you can do kind of like what Arkham Origins did, where it was kind of like a prequel or a side story. It wasn't really one of the mainline Arkham games. They could go that route if they wanted to, but according to Kevin Conroy, that does not seem to be in the cards. And I want to read his exact quote here. I can't believe that they're not going to do another one, but they're not. Isn't that amazing? They made literally billions of dollars on those games, but no, there's no plan to do another one. Sorry. So, what do you think of this tidbit that Kevin Conroy gave us? Have you played any of the Arkham games before?
I have. I've played Arkham City and I think that's it. I may have played a little bit of Asylum, but I know the one that I played a lot of was Arkham City.
Gotcha. What do you think about them not doing any more of them?
I think it's normal. Some people are actually content with just making, games that are okay, they could have been better, and then games that are really, really good for the franchise, and then just stopping. Why keep making something, doing it over and over again, with probably more and more effort not being put towards it, rather than just having 4 decent Batman games that I know Arkham Knight had some problems when it launched, but
on PC only, really.
Yeah, the rest of it I heard was
solid.
Yeah. And then I didn't hear a whole lot about Origins.
Origins was buggy and not supported very well at all. But Origins was probably had the most problems and was the least wasn't received the best.
Yeah. But I think it's good for them, to know when to stop.
When to quit.
Yeah, because there's a lot of games that they're still going, and while some of them might still be kind of fun, there are some of them that are just like, if you put as much time that you put towards making like 3 games of the same IP you've been making for like 10 to 15 years now, you probably could have made some new ones that they might be better than the one you're going with now. They might not be. Like, in my opinion, I think Nintendo should probably put a lot more effort into making some new IPs. I think there's a few of their games that they should probably, just kind of like
give a rest.
Slowly, yeah, either just calm down a little bit or even just, put it down. Let it be.
I'm sorry, boy.
Yeah, things can't last forever. And the same thing goes with a bunch of other games. Like, I think Halo should stop. Halo 5. I heard some people liked the way that Halo 5's multiplayer worked. I didn't like it very well. I thought it was a little weird. And the story, I also didn't really like all that much. They kind of strayed from, a super soldier fighting a gigantic alien army, not by himself, but basically doing everything by himself. Well, at least everything that was important. To being hunted down, considered a rogue soldier, and being hunted down by another squadron of Spartans that weren't made by the same person, but were still made in a similar fashion, but because they weren't made in a illegal way, which the Spartan program was well known around, whatever the human universe had. But that again, it's a weird thing. I think they should stop. Call of Duty
can't stop, won't stop.
They should. And I've admitted, I've admitted a few times that I'd actually play. I would play Call of Duty World War II because it looks like a fun game, but I think they should probably stop too. Mario is right up there because oh my goodness, that I think he might have. I think the Mario franchise has the most amount of games made for
of any franchise,
a single franchise ever, because it's well over 100, and you just don't need that many games about one. And it's not all about, it's not the same thing every time, but a lot of them kind of all share similar play style, and that you go from left to right most of the time, collecting coins and getting to the end, getting stars. And there've been some really good games to come out of it. Because when did Mario first start? It was like
1985.
And now we're in 2017. Mario is over 30 years old. It's impressive, but you guys can calm it down or stop. I think there's plenty of Mario games. I don't know. I don't think it's bad that Arkham is stopping, because you can definitely have too much of a good thing and have it eventually just turn into something that people just, make memes about.
Right. So I remember reading about this when Arkham City was, I don't think it had come out just yet, but Mark Hamill was being interviewed about it, and I think people knew that, like, to even do the second game, because I want to say, I don't know this for a fact. I don't even think this was a rumor, but I have a suspicion that Arkham Asylum maybe wasn't. Well, no, the game does set itself up for a sequel, but I think Mark Hamill approached that game as, this is going to be my last performance doing the voice of the Joker. And of course, Mark Hamill's been doing the voice of the Joker as long as Kevin Conroy has been doing the voice of Batman. I think Mark Hamill is older than him, and I think, I think it really strains his voice to be able to do that character. He's definitely gotten more gravelly, as the Joker. Like, he's not as quite kid-friendly sounding as he was on the cartoon. And, hey, you might like that change. But I think for him, he approached Arkham Asylum in a way that was like, okay, this is going to be the last time I do the Joker, and I want to go out with a bang in this, like, really high production, well-received game. And when it was critically acclaimed and everyone loved it, I thought, he probably thought, great, that's how I want to go out as the Joker. And I think to get him to even come to the table to do Arkham City, they had to basically promise him if we do any more Arkham games, we're not going to have you as the Joker in it. So he agreed to come on to Arkham City. So and you know, if you've played Arkham City, you kind of know how they tie up that end with the Joker. And I kind of feel like, and then Origins also, the weird thing about Origins was it was a younger Batman and a younger Joker, so they had completely different people voice them. I want to say, I can't think of his name, but he's done the voice for Chris Redfield. He's actually the current voice of Sonic. He did the voice of Batman in Origins, and then I'm at a blank for other people's names today. So someone else very well known, he did the voice of Joel in The Last of Us, and he did the voice of Nathan Drake's brother in Uncharted 4. I cannot think of either of these people's names, but he did the voice of the Joker. So they had completely different voice actors do those roles. In general, yes, there are too many games out there, and you can definitely milk them to the point where you're just recycling old ideas. You're not really coming up with anything new. You're just kind of changing the setting. You're not, the controls are down pat. You just make the visuals like different, and you mix up the story mode. I'm not even talking about Call of Duty necessarily, because I don't own any Call of Duty games, but the games that do interest me, like, there's just way too many for me to keep up with. Far too many. Even if I think even if I were a kid or a teenager who had a job to like pay for games, I probably still wouldn't be able to keep up with them. Even with like extra free time. So yeah, I definitely agree with you. I think there definitely needs to come a point in time where you did a good game series. This is not going to be the last Batman video game that we see. You know, I don't even count Injustice. Batman happens to be in those games. Like, we will see other Batman game franchises. Hopefully it doesn't happen for a few more years. But yeah, it's not the end of the world as far as I'm concerned.